Welcome back to the Murphy Center for a very special halftime presentation honoring the 1980 Class 3A Girls State Champions from Pearl High School. Let's join public address announcer John Rice.
Athletes compete annually in 10 sanctioned TSSAA and TMSAA sports. During the last school year, 43 girls teams and 269 female individuals claimed state championships in these 10 girls sports. Girls basketball was first sanctioned as a TSSAA sport for the 57-58 school year, but the impact of Title IX was a movement away from the half-court 6-on-6 format for women to the full-court game that we all know today. Girls in Tennessee were finally able to prove that they were physically capable of playing the modern 5-on-5 game, paving the way for new opportunities to excel and be challenged that all girls and boys deserve. This change opened the door for Tennessee girls to be recruited for athletic scholarships to play college basketball, since they now had experience playing both offense and defense. In March of 1980, Pearl High School became the first ever TSSAA full-court girls basketball state champions in Class AAA. The Tigers defeated Carnes High School in the title game, played right here in the Murphy Center. Seniors Gail Russell, Lisa Carruthers, and sophomore point guard Juanita Johnson were named to the all-tournament team, and the team finished the season with a record of 29-2. Today, we recognize the trailblazing achievements of these members of the 1980 state champion Pearl High School team in propelling the sport of basketball to where it is today. At this time, we'd like to present these women with a commemorative medal designating them as a TSSAA Title IX Trailblazer. In attendance today are former players here at the Murphy Center. Helen Beard, Ruth Bowman, Lisa Carruthers, Gina Crowder Chase, Barbara Frazier, Juanita Johnson, Vicki Martin, Susan Steele Fuller, Rochelle Tisdale. Representing the late Bonita Gail Russell is her sister Yolanda Parson and her daughter Moesha Faye Parson. Representing the late coach James Stevenson, his sister-in-law Maggie Brown. And representing the late coach Lamore McGill, his granddaughter Allison McGill, here today. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the 1980 Pearl High School Tigers, the first ever TSSAA girls basketball full court state champions in Class AAA.
The TSSAA Title IX Trailblazers from Pearl High School of 1980. More coming up from halftime. Right now it's Southside on top of Livingston Academy by 5. Welcome back, where Southside is on top of Livingston Academy 32-24. Jeff M. and Vincent Yarborough joined by a very special guest, one of our Title IX Trailblazers, as we honor the great 1980 Pearl High School state champions. Juanita Johnson is here. Juanita, thank you so much for coming by. How are you?
Fine, thank you for having me.
What did that halftime ceremony mean to you? Back with some of your teammates and recognize the way you guys were.
It meant a lot to us. It's been a long time coming. We're happy to be here. We're happy that everybody brought us together, because we haven't seen each other in a long time. It's very special. I wish my two coaches and Gail Russell, that's me, yes, Juanita Johnson. Yes, I wish my head coach and assistant coach was here with us, along with Gail Russell, one of the starters on our team. Shout out to Pearl High.
What made your group so special in 1980 that you guys were able to win it all?
Because they said that we were going to choke. They said we weren't going to be able to bring that title back home to Nashville. They said we couldn't win the title game, but we did it, and we proved them wrong.
Livingston Academy inside Ledbetter for 2. She's got 4, and it's a 6-point game. Juanita, what's this been like to watch this one? We got a ball game here.
It's a doozy. I love it. It brings me back to when I was on the court playing. I love it.
You could still get some shots up, I bet.
Oh, yeah. I never used a shot.
You never turned down a good look.
Never
right?
turned down a good look.
Ms. Juanita, is there anyone out here that kind of draws any comparisons to the way that you used to play?
Yes. Number 10.
Ellie Butler stops.
Number 10.
And Askin stepped on the baseline.
And number 1.
Okay.
Number
Collins.
1, she reminds me of that jump with the jump shot that she got. I used to shoot it from anywhere. She'll shoot the lights. She's going to shoot the lights for it.
So you had that jump shot.
I had that jump shot.
Ellie Butler with 15 now. And it's a 4-point game. Livingston is on another run here.
Jackson has to be patient, and they have to make sure they're sticking to their guns. They can't come out and start trying to play the same style of basketball that Livingston has. They played a really good game to this point, being patient and finding the girls that carry the scoring load. Now they have to make sure they stick with it going down the stretch.
Lawson, the Miss Basketball finalist, got stripped but fouled. And we should point out, as Juanita Johnson joins us here, not only were you guys honored at halftime, 1980 Pearl High School state champs, it was in this building that you guys won your championship.
This exact building on March the 8th, to be exact. March the 8th, 1980 at 8:30 tip-off.
There you go. I love it. And you guys beat Carnes High School.
Carnes,
what do you remember
Carnes.
about the way that game unfolded?
Oh, man. The way we came out, we had a defensive mindset. Our coaches told us to come out, put the full court press on them, and we would win that game. Defense was the key to us winning the game.
Butler now with 17 after the Lawson free throws. It's back to a 4-point difference. So it sounds like the style you guys played with is what Southside uses,
Exactly.
just relentless pressure.
Exactly. They're playing the same style that we can, as you can see. That's what's keeping them leading the game right now anyway.
43 years ago.
The defense, yes, they brought my memories all the way back.
Some things never change. Love it, love it. Lawson inside. Curry short on it. And a foul as Lawson was trying for the putback, and she will go right back to the line.
Great second effort right there by Lawson. Missed a shot here. Lawson gets a fingernail on it, tips it to herself, grabs it, and then boom, the foul. Good job by Miss Lawson being very active.
The 50th anniversary this year of Title IX, and the Pearl High School state champs of 1980, Title IX Trailblazers, honored at halftime, and we're so pleased to have Juanita Johnson here with us for another moment or so in a 5-point game, late third quarter. Lawson got the next one to go.
Going down the stretch right here, Southside, Livingston have to make sure they're stepping up, knocking their free throws down, meeting every pass, playing the strongest basketball of the season.
Wildcats break the press. Touch pass, Butler, and 2 more for Melton.
Fantastic pass there by Miss Butler. Having great court awareness, knowing where her teammates are at. Touch pass leads to an easy deuce and fires up the crowd.
Vincent, they finally seem to feel comfortable with their press break.
They do. You can definitely see that now they say, hey, we're here, we can play. They're quick, but yes, we can handle it, we can break it, and then we have to make sure that we're getting a great shot every time down.
2 minutes left in the third. Lawson tries to step through. Ledbetter was there, and it's Wildcats ball. It's all rolling right now for Livingston Academy. No field goals for Southside in the last 2.5 minutes. Again, they break the press. Ledbetter wouldn't get it to go. Lawson inside to rip it away for Jackson Southside. The unbeaten Hawks at 33-0. Collins, hot hand. This one's a 2. That's good.
Good job. Way to attack the basket, not settling for a jump shot, short shot, knowing that your team needs a bucket right now. You got to step up, especially with she having a hot hand and score.
Collins again in transition. 2 more. She's got 16. Playing the way that Juanita Johnson used to play.
She's getting everybody fired up, and right now that momentum has huge swings, and it means a lot in this game. Miss Juanita, you were the MVP of the tournament.
No, they
Oh, you're all tournament.
actually, I was all state tournament along with Gail Russell, seniors Gail Russell and Lisa Carruthers. They gave the all tournament MVP trophy to Knoxville Corn's best player, Pat Shoemaker, to the losing team.
Collins up to 16. We remind you you're watching live coverage of the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of high school sports, from live games to full game replays to highlights. It's all there at NFHSnetwork.com. Juanita, if you had to summarize your state championship team of 1980 in one word, how would you describe that group you guys had?
We're legends.
Legends, I like it. TSSAA Title IX Trailblazers honored at halftime as we're wrapping up the third quarter with 90 seconds remaining. An 8-point lead for Southside. Ellie Butler had a reset for the Wildcats after they break the press. Butler has 17, easily the leading scorer for Livingston Academy right now. 16 for Collins for Southside to lead the Hawks. 1 minute left in the third. Melton off the top of the glass and into the hands of Curry.
Good defense stance there by the South Side. Now they have to be patient. They still have the lead, but they're playing as a little bit too emotional, and they have to make sure they calm their emotions down and just play basketball.
Lawson blocked from behind, but also fouled. And free throws again for Tamia Lawson, who is so good at getting to the line. In their double OT win on Thursday, she was 16 out of 21 at the free throw stripe. And the foul was on Hallie Ledbetter, who now has 2. And Lawson is into double figures with 10 points. Akira Lacey comes back in for Albany Collins. Remember, Collins has 3 fouls, so they don't want her to get her 4th with under a minute in the third quarter. .30 seconds left in a 9-point game. Corner, Ledbetter, got it.
Southside has adjusted their defense and toned it back from a full-court man-to-man to a 3-quarter zone press, but they have to make sure that they're finding the girls in the corner for the open shots.
Wasting no time, Askins scores. 5 seconds left. Mullins in and out, and that will take us to the end of the third. Juanita, thank you for coming by. Congratulations on a wonderful team that you were part of back in 1980.
Thank you.
Honored to have you. Title IX Trailblazer. Juanita Johnson and the 1980 Pearl High School state champs. There they are, 43 years ago. We got the fourth quarter coming up, and we've got a ball game.
Welcome back to the Glass House in Murfreesboro, the Murphy Center on the campus of MTSU. We are honoring Trailblazers from Title IX. It's the 50th anniversary of Title IX, the, of course, landmark law supporting female participation in education-based programs. Let's check in with John Rice, our PA announcer, as we honor the 1958 Loretta team.
TSSAA expanded access to girls' sports, where today more than 51,000 female athletes compete annually in 10 sanctioned TSSAA and TMSAA sports. During the last school year, 43 girls teams and 269 female individuals claimed state championships in just these 10 girls sports. Tennessee enjoyed an invitational girls basketball championship as early as 1922, but girls basketball was first officially sanctioned as a TSSAA sport for the 1957-1958 school year. At the time, girls participated in the half-court 6-on-6 version of the game. These early years grew the sport and helped set the stage for what would become the movement great movement here in the state of Tennessee towards more athletic participation and opportunities for girls. The impact of Title IX in 1972 was a shift away from the half-court 6-on-6 format for women to the full-court game that we all know today. Girls in Tennessee were finally able to prove that they were physically capable of playing the modern 5-on-5 game, paving the way for the new opportunity to excel and be challenged that all girls and boys deserve. This change also opened the door for Tennessee girls to be recruited for athletic scholarships to play college basketball, since they now had experience playing both offense and defense. These advancements would never have come about if it were not for the young women who participated in girls basketball prior to the Title IX years and the schools and coaches who invested in their success. Interest in the sport grew and participation numbers climbed. For these reasons, the TSSAA recognizes the women that helped pave the way for all future girls sports here in Tennessee. In March of 1958, Loretta High School became the first ever TSSAA girls basketball state champions after defeating Isaac Litton High School in the title game of the inaugural 8-team tournament located that year in Nashville. Forwards Virginia Lemprecht and Pat Springer were named to the all-tournament team after averaging 20.3 and 19.3 points per game, respectively, as well as guard Ruth Brown. The Mustangs finished the season with a record of 28-1. At this time, we'd like to present these women with a commemorative medal designating them as a TSSAA Title IX Trailblazer. In attendance today here at the Murphy Center, former team members in 1958, Sarah Green Robeson. Also here today is Sandra Hanson Hill. Marion Joyner Yarber. Rebecca King. And Perry Stevenson Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to the 1958 Loretta High School Mustangs, the first ever TSSAA girls basketball state champions.
How about that? Coach Ron Bargatze, you watched that team?
I watched that team play at Lipscomb, 1958, 6-on-6 basketball.
That is unbelievable. How about that? Very cool. Trailblazers, and helped to pave the way for people like me who got to play this sport and then ended up getting to play a sport in college. So
your volleyball reputation's still out there.
yeah, something is still out, that kind of reputation, right? All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll update you with stats and highlights. Stick around. We have somebody special joining us in the broadcast. 1958 team member from Loretto, Sarah Green Robeson. Their Title IX honoree. How are you? It's so great to see you. There you go. Let's get you mic'd up here so you can talk about this good girls basketball game that we're watching. How cool is it?
Same as when we played.
It's a little different, right? The pace is a little different.
Pace, it's rough.
Sarah, you played 6-on-6 basketball.
Yes, we did.
It's changed, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I was a guard out front.
You were a guard. Okay, so how did it work? Let's put that mic right up so everybody can hear you here.
How did it work?
Yes. Like the rules, I mean, you had to stop at half court, right?
Mm-hmm. We had to stay at half court and get it across. And it was just so different.
Yeah.
Once we got our job done, it was up to the forwards.
How cool is this, though, to see what girls basketball has become? I mean, you were one of those pioneers that paved the way for all of us.
Hey, I was at that Lipscomb Gymnasium, McQuitty Gym, when they played there in 1958, and you guys were really good.
Oh, thank you. We had the same team coming back the next year, but we just didn't make it.
Who beat you that next year?
Gosh, I can't remember now.
That's better that way.
What was the best part of basketball back then? What was your favorite part of it?
Well, in our high school, basketball and football were the only sports that we had. So
everybody was interested, right?
the whole town supported us, and we're a small town.
No doubt. I love it. Well, thank you so much. We're honored to have you with us. We got a ball game here, Sarah May. This is fun. We're going to go call this, but thank you for what you've done for women's basketball and for giving us all opportunities.
Wish I could still play.
I bet you could. I bet you could.
Hey, give her the ball. I bet she can shoot now.
That's right.
I was a guard. I couldn't shoot,
block.
so that's why I was a guard.
You can block just like that, Coach.
Right. What?
No, this is exciting.
That was a big basket right there that stopped the bleeding.
Yes, no doubt. There we go. A third foul on Mallory Collier now for Bartlett. And the jacket has come off
The jacket
for
is off.
Wesley Shapley.
Welcome to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, the site of the Division I Class A final between McKenzie and Wayne County, and currently the Rebels of McKenzie High School with a 10-point advantage, 37-27 over the Wildcats of Wayne County. McKenzie looking for their second straight state title against the Wildcats, as we now pause for a special presentation about Title IX. So let's send it over to our public address announcer, John Rice.
Based programs. Prior to its passage, female athletes here in the state only had the opportunity to compete in 2 sanctioned sports. Because of Title IX, the TSSAA expanded access to girls' sports, where today more than 51,000 female athletes compete annually in 10 sanctioned TSSAA and TMSAA sports. During the last school year, 43 girls teams and 269 female individuals claimed state championships in these 10 girls sports. Girls basketball was first sanctioned as a TSSAA sport for the 1957 and 58 school year, but the impact of Title IX was a movement away from the half-court 6-on-6 format for women to the full-court game that we all know today. Girls in Tennessee were finally able to prove that they were physically capable of playing the modern 5-on-5 game, paving the way for new opportunities to excel and be challenged that all girls and boys deserve. This change also opened the door for Tennessee girls to be recruited for athletic scholarships to play college basketball, since they now had experience playing both offense and defense. In March of 1980, the Pickett County High School women's team became the first ever TSSAA full-court girls basketball state champions in Class A, and they're here today in Murphy Center. Following 3 straight years as half-court state champions, the school remains in a tie for the TSSAA record for most consecutive girls basketball state championships. Doe Garrett was named MVP of the final half-court tournament in '79, making her the only guard to receive that honor without scoring any points. She followed it up by earning MVP honors in 1980 as the Lady Bobcats defeated ECS in the title game played right here in the Murphy Center. All 5 starters scored in double digits in that game, and the team outscored their opponents in the tournament by an average of 21 points per game. They finished the season with a record of 35-2. Today we recognize the trailblazing achievements of those members of the 1980 state champion Pickett County High School team in propelling the sport of basketball to where it stands today. At this time, we want to present these women with a commemorative medal designating them as a Title IX trailblazer. In attendance today are former players Doe Garrett Webb, Rebecca K. Rains Staten, Perry Lynn Huckabee Capps, Debbie Huddleston Wright. Brenda Upchurch. Norma Garrett Mitchell. Sheila Aaron Gleaves. Robin Paget Vaughn. Teresa Farrell Bowden. Renee Rich Claiborne. Jamie Hill Garrett. Kathy Melton Mitchell. Janetta White Hammock. And head coach Sam Gibson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause once again to the 1980 Pickett County High School Lady Bobcats, the first ever TSSAA girls basketball full court state champions in Class A, and they're right here this evening.
It's a 10-point lead for the McKenzie Rebels at the half. Stay with us on the NFHS Network. Very happy to be joined now by Pickett County legend, Miss Perry Capps. Miss Capps, thank you so much for joining us here sideline at the Division I Class A state final.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate all the hospitality from the TSSAA and from Blue Cross and from MTSU.
So we were talking during the break. You're not a 4-time high school state champion. You're 5-time, if you include middle school as well.
Yes, if you include middle school, we're a 5-time state championship.
So a lot of hardware at your house.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people sacrificed a lot for all that. Our fans, our parents, our classmates, and just Pickett County in general sacrificed a lot for us to be able to do all that.
And you said you played 6-on-6 instead of 5-on-5, is that correct?
Our 8th grade through my junior year, which would have been 76 through 79, we played 6-on-6. And then we converted to 5-on-5 whenever we started our senior year in 1980.
And so that 1980 squad was the first women's team in Tennessee history to win on a full court, correct? State title?
Yes, we were the first team in Tennessee history to win a full court 5-on-5 state championship.
So tell me, what was it like playing half court ball like that? That just sounds like such chaos.
It's more finesse. It was like it's kind of like a gentleman, I can't call it a gentleman's sport, but it was more of a ladies' sport, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It was more finesse, and there was a lot more coaching involved.
Ball tipped away by Michaela Reynolds, who scored on the other end. She now has 11, as Vince and I are joined by Miss Perry Capps, part of the great Pickett County teams from the early 80s. But you were telling us during the break, you never got to play in a big venue like this. What would have teenage you felt playing in a huge arena like this for a state title?
It was awe-inspiring. We were actually the first team, from our high school to actually play in the state tournament. And it was awe-inspiring. And literally the whole town came out to support us.
Big three by Jacqueline Keaton. And that's probably something that you all didn't have back in your game. It was a three-point line, right?
We did not have a three-point line, that's correct. And there were a lot of people that scored a lot of points without a three-point line. And, I mean, it's a big testimony that our team, all 5 starters got in double figures that last game. So that tells you what a well-rounded team we were.
So, Ms. Capps, when you were on the 6-on-6, were you an offensive or a defensive player?
I was an offensive player.
And what position were you on offense?
I was post.
You're a post player?
Yeah.
Okay. And so offensive players never played defense, or was there a time that the coach can switch you out in the game?
Yeah, you could switch back and forth, but you couldn't. He could switch positions and assign you different positions, but they usually did not do that.
But you could not cross the line?
That is correct.
Okay. So it had to be a forward pass to get across the line to a teammate?
Yes, that is correct.
And you rested until they played,
yes.
And then, okay.
Yes, that is correct.
It just sounds like a totally foreign game to me. That's so wild. Do you ever tell the younger kids, like, you guys got it easy?
Something like that. We did. See, we used to scrimmage against our boys' teams, or we would have boys to come in the gyms. There was a lot of we girls or us girls that had boyfriends that would come in the gyms, or we would practice the high school team, and that really seasoned us to get used to the 5-on-5.
Davis, corner three.
They have to be able to defend that three-pointer against Davis, because every time they get a little momentum, she hits one and puts them right back into respect.
And the lead is 12 for McKenzie, as Savannah Davis now leads the charge with 23. She is 7 of 9 from deep, to go along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists, as this foul is going against Wayne County. This is going to be the 5th team foul against the Lady Cats.
Ms. Capps, I have another question for you. Is there any player out here that you see that plays a similar game to the game that you remember playing?
The one that I remember playing, the post players probably do, and the point guards probably do, because usually you had an assigned ball handler and you had an assigned point guard. And of course the defense kind of comes naturally, I suppose, at some point in time. But Doe Garrett she was most valuable player our senior year at the state tournament, and she transitioned between her junior and senior year from defense to offense. And when she actually played a game, she did the transition so well that she actually had a game where she scored more points than the other team did.
Wow.
And Savannah Davis getting the swat on the defensive end, pushing ahead to Kylie Reynolds. Hard foul as Reynolds hits the deck, and will head to the line for a couple of free ones, as McKenzie has their largest lead on the night at 12. As we need to take another look at the foul on Jacqueline Keaton, her third. As Kylie Reynolds hits the free throw with 2:03 to go.
Wayne County has to step up right now. It's a pivotal point in the game that if they don't do something to cut into that lead or take away some of the confidence, then McKenzie may walk out of here with a blowout win.
So, Ms. Capps, you were talking about how when you all played basketball, it was much more of a finesse form of game. What were practices like?
Well, practices were pretty intense. We practiced from an hour and a half to 2 hours at least every day. And then we practiced all summer long. And the thing I think that helped us a lot was that we had been together for so many years. We grew up together and we played. I mean, we did everything together, and we kind of pretty well knew what the other one's doing. But now the teams are, I look back at some of the films that we had of the games, and the teams now seem to be much stronger and much more talented. And of course, it's been an evolution to get to this point, and I'm very impressed with the teams that are playing now. The players are so good.
Timeout, 30-second timeout taken by McKenzie. As Food City says congratulations to all the teams who have made it to the Blue Cross Basketball Championships. Food City, the official grocery store of the state championships. As McKenzie has a 12-point advantage with 1:27 to go. As Vince and I are joined by Pickett County basketball legend Miss Perry Capps. There's a look at John Wilkins, head coach for the Rebels, looking for their second straight state title. So I'm curious, back in the day, was there any media coverage of the game going on, of your state title runs?
Very little. I'll say there was a lot of radio coverage. Drew Huffines from WLIV in Livingston covered all of our games. And there was a lot of newspaper coverage, but not TV coverage at all. There was nothing like this. This is really nice, the way that everybody does this now. But no, there was not. I have rudimentary DVDs of our state tournament finals. I have all 4 finals at our high school.
Really?
But they're made from VHS tapes, which I'm sure were reel-to-reel initially.
So how many members were actually here today?
We are missing, of our 1980 state championship team, we're only missing 2 players. We have the whole team plus our coach.
Wow.
There were people that, I think the one that traveled the furthest was Rebecca Raines, Rebecca State, and she came from Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow, that's big. That's big.
Yeah, that's pretty much how Pickett County rolls. We kind of roll together.
7th team foul against Wayne County, and that will put the Rebels in the bonus, shooting 1-1 with a 10-point advantage and 50.9 remaining in the third quarter, as Jack Keaton has picked up her 4th foul, and Michaela Reynolds has her 3rd point of the second half, as the lead is back to 11 for the Rebs. Make it 12.
Going down the stretch, that's what's going to keep that separation. If she can continuously knock down those free throws, then they're going to continuously keep the lead. There's such good ball handlers between her and Miss Davis that it's going to be very difficult for them to get them out of rhythm, especially unless they try to come out and apply some full court pressure.
We've got 35 seconds before we wrap up here in the third quarter. What are some of the best memories that you take away from your time playing high school basketball here in Tennessee?
The camaraderie. We've had friends for life. The coaches that we had really taught us how to be adults. They not only coached us in basketball, but they really taught us how to be adults. And the maturity, there's been nothing that I hadn't been taught on the basketball court for every challenge that I've had in life that I didn't draw from those principles that were instilled in us. Our best memory is winning. There's not very many teams that get to end of their career on a win.
5 straight state titles, and the first women's team in Tennessee high school basketball history to win a state title in full court basketball. It's just absolutely outstanding. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
I appreciate it, and we appreciate all that y'all do for women's sports. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That's Miss Perry Capps.
Thank you, Miss Capps.
Welcome back to the Murphy Center on the campus of MTSU. We call it the Glass House, the site of our final state championship Division I Class 2A girls title game. Westview leading this one at the half, 25-16 over McMinn Central. You see a bunch of athletes gathered at the middle of the court right now. You know, we recently celebrated the 50th anniversary of Title IX, which of course is the landmark law supporting female participation in education-based programs. And these women that you're seeing right here, they're all trailblazers, and we are honoring them today. This is Marshall County, the 1980 Title IX honorees. Let's check in with our PA announcer, John Rice, who has more.
TMSAA Sports. During the last school year, 43 girls teams and 269 female individuals claimed state championships in these 10 girls sports. Girls basketball was first sanctioned as a TSSAA sport for the 1957-58 school year, but the impact of Title IX was a movement away from the half-court 6-on-6 format for women to the full-court game that we know today. Girls in Tennessee were finally able to prove that they were physically capable of playing the modern 5-on-5 game, paving the way for new opportunities to excel and be challenged that all girls and boys deserve. This change also opened the door for Tennessee girls to be recruited for athletic scholarships to pay for college basketball. And since they now have the experience playing both offense and defense. In March of 1980, Marshall County High School became the first ever TSSAA full-court girls basketball state champions in Class AA. Coached by Don Steely, the Tigerettes finished the season 26-2, following a victory over Chester County in the title game played right here in the Murphy Center. Coach Steely's team advanced to the state tournament in 6 of the 7 seasons that he coached, also winning a half-court championship in 1976. Post player Mary Thomason Crenshaw still holds the TSSAA girls basketball tournament record for the best field goal percentage by an individual. She shot 81.2% in her 3 games in that 1980 tournament on this floor. Several members of this team went on to play in college. Today, we recognize the trailblazing achievements of those members of the 1980 state champion Marshall County High School team, propelling the sport of basketball to where it is today. At this time, we'd like to present these women with a commemorative medal designating them as TSSAA Title IX Trailblazers. In attendance today here at the Murphy Center are former players Angie Shelton DeTwin, Mary Thomason Crenshaw, Patrice Kelso Edens, who's also representing her sister, the late Dottie Kelso, Sheila McGonigal King, Carletta McLean Webster, Tracy McMillan Davis, Angela Murphy McLean, Lisa Corbin Isley, and manager here today, Amy Vandiver Maddox. And their head coach here today at Murphy Center, Don Steely. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for that 1980 Marshall County High School Tigerettes, the first ever TSSAA girls basketball full court state champions in Class AA.
How about that? The first full court girls basketball state champs. Coach, you remember that transition?
Oh, very well. Don Steely's been a good friend of mine for a long time, coaching that team, following Fred Shelton, another legend that way.
Speaking of, he's coming over here right now to say hi to you. Coach Bargatze knows everybody, I promise you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coach, I'm going to let you chat. We'll be right back with more after this. This is the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank. Well, welcome back. It's halftime of the 2A Girls State Championship game. Westview leading at 25-16 over McMinn Central. I'm Dawn Davenport alongside Coach Ron Bargatze, and we have a special guest here today. You know, it is the anniversary, the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and so it's so cool that we are honoring all of these teams and all of these athletes that trailblazed the way for athletes like me and all of these young women. And right now I've got Angie Shelton DeTwin with me from the 1980 state championship team in Marshall County, first full court girls basketball state champs. What was that transition, Angie, like to the full court?
It was really fun. I remember when we first found out, we thought they're going to run us to death, and they did. We ran so many killers and suicides and everything else, but it was worth it. We grew as a team. We had a great group, and we had great coaches, and it was awesome.
Speaking of great coaches, Coach B, I think you know that someone she might know pretty well, too.
Well, anybody around here knows who Fred Shelton is, and you probably shared some breakfast with him, right?
I have. Yes.
That's her dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you grow up playing ball?
I did.
Okay.
If it was snowing, we had to get up and go to the gym. You know.
I love it.
Yeah.
Real quick, you went on to play at Alabama.
I
just
did.
have to give you a War Eagle real quick.
Oh, so kind.
Thank you, Angie Shelton DeTwin. We are so thankful for what you guys did back then, and it's an honor to get to honor you.
Thank you.
All right.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Angie. There you go, from the 1980 Marshall County State Championship team. Very cool. Obviously, one of these teams looking to bring home a gold ball and win their own state championship.